Yo, Kujo, what's up, dog? What's up? You just got up an HP level. Doing the same thing as me? Nice. What world are you on? Oh shit, he's hopping here. I was trying to hop to you. You're crazy. You're a legend. My man got those tacits on. Oh, what the fuck? You're using Blood Moon here. You're crazy, dude. You're using your Blood Moon. Oh, okay. Never mind. Still doing minutes for the last items. Word. You got that in the bag, brother. You got that in the bag. Redeem Toke. He'll dab as well. Hey, buddy. Hey, Rocky. I didn't even see you there, dude. Homie got the sponsors threatened, and he's just like, shit, I gotta go apologize. I can't. I can't mine him. What? I guess I didn't do enough damage. Muted? You think so? Oh, the audio is muted.
The fights from these times started to get worse. I would constantly want to be farther and farther from her. I would use her for content, but after stream would want
What are you saying,
to be
Reese?
alone. I didn't know how to break up with her.
You're going to Moons? Alright, good luck,
She was
dreams.
a co-owner of my
Good luck,
board,
Cujo.
the only person I knew.
I'm calling you're
and the
getting
strain of
a
relationship
drop
and hiding
within
the
for
relationship
3
was
chests.
really taking a toll on me.
First
On
3
top
chests
of
you're getting a
that,
drop.
Stalkers were getting worse. One stalker came to my house and I had to point a gun at him for 30 minutes until the cops came. These stalkers are no joke, and the pressure from the relationship, the anger I felt, and the stalkers as a whole really made us lash out at each other. She would tell me that she doesn't realize
So
what
this is like some stalker thing. Like, yeah, you had stalkers as an issue, etc. This is what happens, right? That's why you have security. I mean, and also, like, by the way, it's like, this is like, don't buy
Guarantee it. You're getting back to backs.
You don't want the bird to make bird sounds. This girl had stalkers in Kansas. You invite her to Austin, and then you complain that she has stalkers there too. Like, why would you expect that not to continue? Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, you're now guilt-tripping her for the thing that you promised her that you would prevent happening. It's like you didn't expect it? Yeah. Remember stalkers? No, I mean, I don't know. Like, again, if you guys ever noticed that I've never talked about any sort of privacy or security things about myself ever. Ever. It's because I don't want to farm. Like, I could do that and maybe farm sympathy or some other bullshit. Like what Miz did on that pier, releasing that story about Emeru's stalker acting like he was the hero when it was actually Bonnie that went out there and confronted the person. So, it's just bullshit. Like, it just makes things worse. Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you.
And so, like, really,
You did call him a Bandos drop? Yeah, buddy. Pass its
it was really
first.
stressful, but
I
like,
did
think
call
he's
that.
using this again.
That's
to
pretty nuts.
obfuscate and to,
That was pretty nuts.
what's the way to say it? To kind of muddy the waters between the hostilities between them. He's basically trying to shift a relationship where he was the aggressor and the abuser, at least allegedly, right? I've got to say this for legal reasons. Allegedly, the aggressor and the abuser towards Emeru, and shift this into we were both wrong. When it's like, actually, it seems like, and by the way, everybody else, keep in mind, everybody else, nobody's backed him up on this. No other creator has backed him up on this. Nobody's taken his side. A lot of his own, even his old roommates, his old friends, his old girlfriends, nobody's taking his side.
she's doing, that she didn't understand what she was doing wrong. But I would constantly tell her, on and off stream, that she needs to do more because these stalkers are getting worse. I know I wasn't perfect with my language or tone throughout this entire relationship. I know I wasn't. And I was aggressive at times. In regards to being controlling, I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole.
Why would you tell her to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole whenever you went live and then you told a story that was her private story that wasn't public about stalkers and schizos? Against her consent.
I don't even know who the fuck these people are.
Stop
This shit
talking
literally
about
just got
past
recommended.
relationships.
I know who
And
Aspen
yes,
is.
I didn't want her to
I don't know
travel
who the fuck
without
this guy
me.
is.
I also said that I didn't want her to hang out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt. I didn't want Emmy to get assaulted. I didn't want some man to do something to her when I'm not there, and I wanted to keep her safe. And I know with how my mental was and who I was back then that I didn't do everything right. I know I could have done.
Well, I mean, that's like kind of like definitely a really... It's really kind of minimizing it, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't do everything right. Yeah.
better, and I'm sorry. I know I was controlling and I should have just ended the fucking relationship, but I was so confused as a person. And I'm sorry I did it. I'm sorry things got to this point, man. The last 9 months of this relationship, things got extremely fucking toxic. I told her to move out. She didn't move out on her own. I told her to move out
This is
because
the passive language. Things got toxic. You see what I'm saying? Like,
wanted space, but she still wanted me around at all times. She would get upset if we didn't sleep together or if we weren't around. She always wanted me to drive
keep
over
in
to her
mind that, like, ever since this happened, there have been 2 additional people that have alleged that he assaulted them within less than 24 hours of this stuff coming out. And not a single person that is in the space that knew him is really defending him.
house, but I never wanted to because I wanted to be alone. And that increased our fights.
Of OTK, he wasn't. He hasn't been in OTK for a long time. Yeah, Miz watchers. I understand. Listen, guys, I understand if you're a fan of Miz and you like Miz and you want to act like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, well, some of this stuff might not be true. Even if half of it's true, it's bad. Like, I don't know why, like, you should read something and see it based off of that. You're leaving everything Imro says because she's your friend? It's because there's a fucking screenshot. There's a screenshot and she's got dozens of people saying, yeah, this is what happened. There are other, and I will say too, I know people get mad at me for this. There are other stories of things that will be points on the same graph making the same line.
Stalkers continued, and I got even more stressed.
I said it last time. People got mad. They said I was vague posting. I'm being serious. Source, trust me, bro. The story that I would tell you has 5 other witnesses.
They started to take pictures of me whenever I would drive to her house. They knew my every movement. I couldn't take it. Between the rabbits, the stalkers, and the overall ability to handle situations with each other, I knew this wouldn't last, but I didn't know how to get out of the relationship. She did not want to move out. As for me telling Cheddar to leave my house, he was swatting at Chompy constantly and making him bleed. I not only was the one that wanted her to move out first, I was the one that wanted the cat out of the house because he was attacking my cat. Every month went by the last year and our fights started to get louder. We were breaking up with each other almost weekly. Fights were getting more aggressive and shouting began to increase. I was not perfect and I reflect on those situations poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
I think, again, the reason why he's using the plushies or he's using the clothes as an example is because you can't prove that, whereas you can with holes in the door or damaged property. It's very easy to show a hole in a wall and say this is what happened. But there's not going to be any evidence or any proof of somebody throwing a plushie. So he can say this, and there's no way that you can really disprove this happening. But you can go around his old house and see holes in the wall. You see what I'm saying? They aren't equal. I mean, well, beyond that.
One time did say I was going to kill myself during an argument, but Emmy did this as well numerous times. She would constantly say she's going to kill herself in arguments, and I have a picture where while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers who came to my house while she was in Kansas, She told me she was going to kill herself out of aggression of the situation while it was happening. This is the situation. I told her that a stalker's at the house. I'm freaking out.
Somebody says, and I want to address this claim because it's been a question that a lot of people have really brought up, and I want to talk about this just for a couple of minutes. Can streamers keep their relationships between them private? Stop being such censors or monetizing everything, be paragons of virtues, don't want to be criticized. Kind of drama is pathetic to adult individuals. This is the reason why they can't do that. The reason why is because when you do that and you try to be
Oh,
the bigger
zombie,
person,
what's up?
and you'd know this if you listened to what Emmy said yesterday, that there were multiple times where he tried to invade her private life and cause problems for her privately and make things worse for her and also damage her career. Saying negative things about her to people privately, trying to say bad things publicly also, maybe indirectly, letting his community do that. Look at the Rust clip. If she didn't say something about this, then nobody else would have known, and there would have been a possibility that something bad could have happened to another person. Because he is a public figure. And by calling out a public figure like this and saying this is what this person is doing, it lets everybody else know in the public this is what's going on. People like that actively will try to sabotage you and damage your life. That's another thing too. Like, this hasn't really come out yet, but there will be instances of this happening. And again, I apologize for being vague, but just give it a couple of days. If you want me to be completely as transparent as I can be, it's because I want to make sure that these people have legal counsel before they say anything, because they're worried, because they don't have the position that Emmy or I do. And that's the reason. I've really tried to act I've tried to do the best that I can. And obviously, nobody is perfect, especially not me. But I have tried.
What is happening? Can you call me? I'll call you. I literally want to kill myself. I can't take this anymore. I feel so alone and like a problem. Just want to show this. She was also using the I want to kill myself a lot in our situation and relationship. This is while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers. This stalker who was at my house, his background picture was Emaru. And when he talked to the cops, he was in love with her and thought that she was talking to him. It is disgusting what these stalkers can do. I will say this. The fact that this guy came to my house and the result of it was a cop brought him down the street to a QT, which is a 7-Eleven, 15 minutes away, and that's all they did, is terrifying for these girls and terrifying for the situation in general. I knew that the relationship wasn't healthy at this point. I knew we had to end it, and soon. One day, Emmy posted a very provocative picture, one that she knew I would hate, and she posted it to make me upset. She admitted that she made me upset with it, and we got into a heated argument.
You see the language. She posted it to make me upset, and she admitted that it made me upset. One of them has intent, the other one has acknowledgement. You see how this happens?
And I broke up with her. We broke up for about a month. Then got back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong, or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then. But we got back together soon afterwards.
There's no way.
And during those last few months where we were fighting, we were still fighting, but it did feel like the relationship had good progress. We should see what we want.
What's up, Jay?
And Emmy had an idea
What'd you figure out?
to write down everything we wanted on paper. I'm going to let everyone...
I'll be right back, gentlemen. That goes though. Working at. All in one spot, easy access.
Know that what I'm about to say is very true. This is exactly what happened, and she cannot argue this. One day, after staying over Emiru's house, Emiru made me breakfast, and she wrote down everything she wanted. She wrote she wants me to move closer to her. She wrote that she wants me to marry her. And she wants
Obviously.
kids with me in the next 5 years. And I just looked at this letter that was staring in front of me, and I just handed her back the paper. She began to cry, and I told her, I'm sorry, I just can't do this anymore. I knew we were just beyond the point of toxicity in the relationship, that our trust had completely...
This is, keep in mind, in the context of before that he sends her all of these messages and all of this stuff, trying to get her back.
He died, and that we had so many issues that I couldn't deal with it, and I was not mentally well. I walked away. I went to her door, and as I opened it, the last words I ever heard her say is, "Don't go. I love you." That week, I made flights to Japan because I didn't want to sit around and wait to possibly get back together again. I have never talked to her in person since. I have messaged her numerous times wondering why
What'd you find
I had
out?
been removed from OTK, Discords, and I was
Remember-
very
oh,
scared
yeah.
because I didn't know what was going
Yeah,
on.
do you remember what we talked about?
Nobody was talking to me or
Who's who?
contacting me, and I have had so much regret.
It was another reason.
Times where I wanted to go back, times where I've...
Like, all of those decisions had already been made before any of this had come out. Yep, totally different reason. Elaborate? I will. I don't want to do it today because I think that there are other people that I would prefer say it. But I will if it doesn't come out. Just, I fuck off? Why? No, you have to understand that... Is this drama baiting for views? How is it drama baiting for views? Like, I said that this stuff would come out. It did.
There's no round cap.
Just because
That's
I'm
crazy.
not going to immediately... I understand that there's a lot of people that are really young
That's
and you don't
crazy.
understand the
So what the
complexities of things
fuck?
like this. But yeah, this stuff is really complex and hard. And it's not just as simple as simply saying whatever you think happened. It's a lot of complexity with this, and there's multiple people involved, and there are other obligations and conflicting variables. And yeah, I'm not going to immediately say why and explain the entire thing. But what I will say is that that
Dude,
is
that's
not why it
crazy.
happened.
You gotta record that.
Drunk messaged her love letters, as you saw on stream. But after 10 months, I know we're much better off without each other. I did see her at a party once at Simply's house. The house was very small, and I opened the door, I said whoops, and proceeded to talk in the other room about what I possibly did wrong, and began to bawl out and be depressed because I just saw my ex-girlfriend. I want to make it very clear. I was not following her, nor lingering around her. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about 50 people there. I, of course, was near her, but I was never following her. This year has been very hard for me, and I'm sure for her. I even went to Japan and drank every single night just to sleep. Going from being with each other for 3 years straight and trauma bonding to be completely alone is such a difficult thing for both of us. I began therapy in February of this year with EMDR therapy, something she recommended me when we were dating. I'm very happy to say that I feel better than ever, and I've gotten a lot of the stress I've had.
Surely, if you got all of the stress that you had and everything, then why were you just at TwitchCon threatening her employees that you would destroy Imaru if she came out with anything about you? If you've really changed as a person, then why have you, within the last week, been doing the exact same thing that, you know, you've been saying you're trying to avoid? You see what I'm saying? I was following and believe it only a slick, but why? I mean, I don't know. And this is the thing. That whole video is him trying to save face? No, it is. It 100% is.
You can also pack a punch. That's crazy.
This
How
clear
much
trying to
time
do
do you
the right
have
thing
in
is
here,
thinking out
too?
your story to tell and giving the others the opportunity to speak up? Yeah. And I will tell you this. If other people don't tell the story, I will tell it. I did get permission from one of the people, the person that was the most affected by it. I got the permission from that person last night to tell the story. I will tell the story why Miz was removed from OTK. If they don't want to, I'll do it. I'll respect their wishes and their privacy, but I will do it. And you'll see that it had nothing to do with this. And again, I apologize for not being able to drop everything immediately. But there's a lot of reasons for that. And I apologize. Hopefully you can see that with all this blow up, I wasn't bullshitting. I wasn't bullshitting then. I'm not bullshitting now.
Away. I've also moved from Austin myself, and I've had a lot of trauma lingering from there as a whole, and I feel a lot better
It's
from
all,
that.
like, I mean, again, like, what about the other people that were negatively affected? Her trauma. It's all about him. That's the thing. This is the entire thing.
I truly hope nothing but the best for Emmy. I know she said a lot of these things today, and
If you hope nothing but the best for her, then why did you say that at a party that you would destroy her? Why did you say that? You hope the best for her, but you want to also destroy her? You're lying.
believe a lot of them were false, but I do hope nothing but the best for her, and I'm sorry that any of this happened. I hate that we're in this situation, And I hope
Damn.
that she can move on. We were in a toxic relationship. I saw that. I've realized over the years of 2 relationships now online that I'm a horrible boyfriend and I have a lot to work on for myself. I've been single for the past 10 months and I plan to stay that way. I'm continuing to go to therapy and work on
It was if she releases this stuff, he'd destroy her.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want it to get exposed. It's that simple. Yeah, he's trying to, and then he's also trying to blackmail other people by trying to say he'll release damaging information about them. Yeah. You can't want the best for somebody and then just less than a week ago be threatening to destroy them if they do the thing that you're responding to them doing. You see what I'm saying?
99 yet? Giggity.
It's just manipulation. It's lying and manipulation.
Myself, not just for me, but for the people around me. If you're wondering if it's scripted, the answer is, of course it is. I wrote it out because I cannot freeball this. This is a very serious situation. I want to make this real, and that's it. Okay? I'm going to stand up for myself. I am going to defend myself in these situations. I am not going away. I have no plans to go away. And I believe a lot of the situations today were absolutely exaggerated. I have dozens of photos and videos, calls and messages as well, if she has them. I have things I will be leaking over the next few days of other people, of other things. I have a lot of messages that I have that I'm going to expose as time goes on, because I do believe that this is a time to go fucking buck wild. But I want to make it very clear. When it comes to Emiru, when she says that I was getting ready to go after her and that I was going to use her rabbits against her, that was never the plan. My plan
Yeah, it was.
for myself was very simple. If Emmy were to say something about me, I would say something back. That's it. I never had a plan in my life to go after her or do anything. It was if she ever said anything,
So my plan wasn't to do this. My plan was to do this if she did this.
I would say something as well. And that's completely
So black
understandable. Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon? I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen, because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry, I don't. Go after me all you want. I have nothing to lose. And I will say this proudly. Emiru abused those rabbits. She did. And if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to say that she didn't abuse those rabbits at my house, you're lying. You know she did. She abused those rabbits and she let them outside. And it's disgusting.
As I said, I've never seen any evidence of that. Everything, I mean, again, like whenever she's in her new house and in the house before that, the rabbits were being taken care of and they weren't being abused. You could ask Bonnie and Senna that. It's just bullshit.
And I didn't want to bring this up ever. This was not something I planned on bringing up in my life. But
She
it's something.
spent tens of thousands of dollars on like emergency veterinary care because one of her rabbits crashed out.
That she claims that she didn't do, and people are trying to defend her from that, like Asmongold, where he says that one of her rabbits she took and brought around. What about the other 6 rabbits that died? As for what happened with me and Emiru, it is I mentally have been fucked up for years, and I'm very proud of myself for working on myself. And I think leaving Austin was the best thing,
Got
not
mentioned.
just for me, but for everyone around me. I do believe that. I fucked up a lot, and I'm never gonna not admit that. And I realized I need to be alone. I never got kicked out of Austin, Texas. I left myself. I'm absolutely.
I think that if you just look at who's collaborating with him and who's making content with him, I think that really tells you like what really happened. You know what I've always said is like listen to what people do rather than what they say. Are all of these people in Austin collaborating with him and doing stuff with him at all? E-Rob. Yeah, E-Rob did an event with him. Yeah. Is 6 more actually dying? I have no idea. Like, I wasn't there with the rabbits every single time. I have no idea.
Mentally fucked. I have been slowly working on it. I do feel like I've been getting better. I feel like I'm very calm right now. I don't feel stressed. I don't even feel angry. I feel that every day I'm trying to learn more and more and do better, but I'm going to stand up for myself in a lot of these situations because a lot of it was not true. And I don't like that she was portraying that it was just me who was at fault. It was a toxic relationship, and that's what it was. Why was viewership so important?
It's a toxic relationship. Oh my fucking god. This is some like Amber Heard defense. Like, oh, we both made mistakes. Like, no. Bro, you... Oh my god. It's trying to, you know, again, muddy the waters. Muddy the waters. It's an oversimplification. Oh, everybody made mistakes, etc., right?
I will bluntly say this, and I'm very honest. I was, and I still am, but I very much was someone that was massively obsessed with streaming and viewership. And when my cancellation happened, and even before it, I mean, it's something you guys know. I've been massively obsessed with streaming and viewership over the years, and it's disgusting, and it has ruined my fucking life.
Yeah,
it is something that I am envious of others. I am angry at others because of it. It makes me jealous when I see others doing well, and it has made me realize that I am I'm never happy for someone else if they're doing much better than me. You guys know this is true if you watch my old stream. I've always been this way. I've been very envious of other people, and
it's okay to be envious and it's okay to be competitive, but whenever you let that envy and competition allow you to be abusive, aggressive, and hostile to other people and actively try to damage them, that's the problem. Like, the moment that your emotions leave your own mind and they manifest into actions, that's the issue. So nobody's really criticizing Miz and saying that you're a bad person for being envious of Emiru doing well or being envious of Maya doing well in the past. That has nothing really to do with it. What it does have to do is that the comment viewer goes, no, yeah, exactly, right? And the problem is that you have... You're performing actions, you're doing things that hurt other people. Yeah, I saw Nina Lynn got unbanned. You guys can stop telling me that. I'll look at it after this, okay? If you don't mind.
It's a problem. It's a serious... I'm definitely way better than I was now, or I am now, but it's a serious problem that I am still working on to this day. I am not perfect, and I fucked up with that. I've been this way for a very fucking long time, where I'm a competitive dude, and I think I'm very competitive with streaming because I really care about it a lot. I've sunk my whole life into this thing. Did you really drive 150 miles an hour? I'm gonna say this very clear. If you know me in Austin, Texas, I drive fast everywhere. I drive fast literally everywhere. I'm in an Audi R8 in Austin, Texas, where the freeways are open. I drive fast all the time. I remember one time when she was picking me up from the airport, and she was in her blue Corvette, and she started the speed when we were on a straightaway when she was getting mad, and she stayed quiet. I don't remember the exact speed she got up to, but we were definitely flying. But I'll say this. I have no problem admitting fault.
I've been in the car with Emiru driving. I've never had her do that. Multiple people have been in the car with Mizkif driving. They have had him do that. It's just... I mean, I don't know. Other people can give their opinions and, like, tell me if they were ever in a car with Emiru driving and she drove really fast and made them feel unsafe. As far as I know, I haven't seen a single or heard a single person say that. But there's already been 3 people, like Emmy, Blastoise, and Maya, that have all said that. That's still anecdotal evidence. Come on.
The person that I was during that relationship, and I would say the Mizkif in Austin, Texas, is fucking disgusting. I hated myself. I hated this person that just sat there all day, stressed and angry and mad at the fucking world. I hated being this
He was spam texting her when he lived in LA and threatening to destroy her in LA. It's not like he changed when he went to LA.
upset person, because I know you are who you hang out with. And I definitely changed Emmy in a lot of ways and made her very stressed as well, and mentally the situations we were in just
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I kind of stressed her out a little bit. Yeah.
cataclysmed both of us. I was a very toxic person and I knew I needed to get out, so I broke up with her. In fact, I broke up with her twice. The first time I broke up with her, I really thought it was over. And the second time I broke up with her was forever. I did message her a lot afterwards,
You did?
primarily for OTK stuff, but there were times where I did want to go back to her. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. I was drunk. I thought I needed to, but yeah, that's it. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. This is something I think that we went over, and I am glad that it is out there, what I just said. And that's it. So
I like how people are mad at me, right? Even mad at me. You're disloyal. Of course I'm gonna be disloyal because he was disloyal to us. And you'll see that. He was. He lied to us about the entire Imiru situation to begin with in order to maintain, his position in the company that wouldn't have even changed to begin with. We never did anything against him. We never initiated any sort of dishonesty at all.
that's it. I said what I had to say. I
And
appreciate
also, like, why would we be loyal to this in the first place? I mean, it's bad behavior. And you're clearly biased. Of course I'm biased. Duh. What do you think? Of course I'm biased. Because I know what happened. Yeah, obviously you're going to be if you know something about a situation that is more than what the public would know, then yes, obviously you're going to be biased about it because you know things that were you there? In some of these cases, yes. The bias towards being the truth. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not about whether this is like, oh, whose side this is on. These are just things that straight up happened. Like, I'm not saying every single thing that Emmy said is 100% accurate or every single thing Kyuko said is 100% accurate. I can't say that. For a legal reason, I can't say that. But what I can say is that the things that I have seen and everything that I have been witness to indicates that Miz is a liar. He's lied to OTK he lied to OTK multiple times about really big things. Talk about loyalty. After, again, we all stuck our neck out and everybody went out of their way. Everybody went through, and, we all went through, like, with this big investigation, and we tried to clear his
Smoke, what's
name,
up?
and we tried to bring him back in and support him through this and do everything.
Yeah, I gotta try and get the trample scene.
This is
trying to get
all
the chance.
while he was lying to us. The entire time. The guy mocked Charlie Kirk's death, of course. Can anyone in OTK come out and corroborate? Yes. I think so.
you guys listening, and I will be back. I'm not leaving anytime soon. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.
I feel like if he
This is just XQC. Is this anything else? He's like using XQC to look at it. So yeah, there it is. Has Maya said anything about it? I don't.
Getting divorced for you, okay? That's wild. Be right back, gentlemen. Number go up. Hey, Rod. Our Dan's here. Give me a hand. Just trying to help you.
I appreciate it. I just, I can swear, unless I got underneath the kitchen sink. I'm gonna go for a quick shower and then I'll go down and chat.
That's stupid though.
In September 2022, the remains of 44-year-old Stephanie Pavlons were discovered by construction workers in a wooded area next to a large medical center in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Her remains had gone undetected for weeks. By the time the discovery was made, it was impossible to determine how Stephanie had died. Investigators could only speculate as to how she had even gotten there, hidden in plain sight. But they suspected foul play. Piece by piece, Stephanie's story was put together. The picture that emerged was one of secrets, deception, and murder. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case is a fascinating study in circumstantial evidence. It begins with a sad and tragic discovery. Then, investigators piece together this puzzle through security cameras, cell phone movements, diary entries, and a bit of common sense. Let's take a look.
Common sense ain't too common nowadays, boy.
On September 9th, 2022, 3 construction workers in Waukesha, Wisconsin, were sectioning off an area within a vacant lot on Gulf Road. The terrain was slightly overgrown, leading to a small woodland situated between a large medical building and a golf course. As the workers approached the tree line with their no trespassing signs, they noticed a distinct and foul odor.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's the Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin on Gulf Road.
Okay, is that the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin?
Yep, it's behind it. It's in the vacant lot next to it.
And tell me exactly what happened?
We found a dead body in the woods when we were putting up stakes for no trespassing signs. We smelled something and then saw there's a dead guy back there. He's for a long time, so he ain't coming back from it. So
Okay.
In the tall grass near the trees were the remains of an adult woman, long since deceased. She was later identified as 44-year-old Stephanie Pavlons. The amount of time she had been in the woods was uncertain, though she had likely been there for at least a couple of weeks, based on the state of decomposition. Stephanie had not been reported missing. The 44-year-old was unmarried. She was mother to a daughter, 19-year-old Layla, whose calls, messages, and voicemails to her mother had gone unanswered since the end of August. She was in semi-regular contact with her parents, her mother, Georgianne in particular, and had lived at their home in Delafield on and off over the previous 5 years. It was not until September 12th, 3 days following the discovery of her body, that Stephanie's parents were notified of her death. Georgianne had sent her daughter messages over the previous 2 weeks. It was odd that she had not replied, but not overly concerning, she said. Her daughter was a private person and in charge of her own life. There was no clear pathway to Stephanie's body in the woods, though there were indications of traffic around the general area, mostly cans of alcoholic drinks and other small pieces of trash. 2 key items were spotted within 15 feet of her, a vape and a scalpel. The vape was Stephanie's. She was trying to quit smoking. The scalpel did not show any signs of use. There were no other personal belongings on or near her person. Stephanie was wearing dark jeans, white tennis shoes, and a loose-fitting long black t-shirt. The medical examiner performing the autopsy was hindered by the state of the remains. The extent of decomposition meant that no cause or manner of death could be determined. A toxicology was performed, but it was also limited due to the muscle and tissue available for a sample. Results found that Stephanie had traces of some of her prescription medications in her system. Stephanie took medication for seizures. She also had prescriptions for oxycodone to address neck pain from a car accident. She also took Xanax for her anxiety. Whether Stephanie's death
she's
was
basically
natural,
just doped
a
up
result of a
24/7.
health condition, whether it was caused by her medications, or if she died as a result of foul play, was not a question that the autopsy could answer. When investigators notified Stephanie's parents of her passing on September 12th, they learned that she had not been living at their house consistently for several months. Stephanie had instead been staying with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, 55-year-old Matthew Paul. Matthew had a unit at the Willow Park Apartments on Delafield
Matthew
Street
sounds
in
like a
Waukesha.
unit.
He was the father of Stephanie's adult daughter, and the two had maintained some form of relationship over 20 years.
Hey, bud.
Curiously, Matthew had also failed to report his girlfriend missing. Instead of speaking with Matthew immediately, detectives first went to building management at Willow Park and requested weeks' worth of the apartment's video surveillance. They were hoping to catch a glimpse of Stephanie and establish a timeline leading to the date of her death. Slowly healing from a broken foot, Matthew was captured hobbling in and out of the north exit of the building in late August. He routinely entered from the parking lot, pausing at the door to prop it open. Detectives quickly realized the reason he did this. Stephanie was often right behind him, and she clearly did not have a key. The two would regularly enter and exit the apartment separately, though within only a few minutes of each other. It was against the terms of Matthew's lease to have another resident in his unit. The footage from the building made clear that Matthew was obviously skirting the rules. Stephanie had been living with him. The last day that Stephanie was captured on the cameras at Willow Park was on August 23rd, 17 days before she was discovered in the woods. At 8:39 a.m., she exited the north side of the building, wearing the same jeans, shoes, and oversized t-shirt that she would later be found in. She also carried a black purse with a chain strap and a large pink water bottle. At 8:40, Matthew was captured exiting out the side of the building carrying a plastic bag. The items inside were not clearly visible. The dash camera footage on Matthew's truck captured only a few seconds that morning, showing him pull around the apartment building to collect Stephanie. The couple drove to the Quick Trip on Grandview, where Stephanie popped inside to purchase them breakfast. Matthew waited in the truck for her return. Stephanie emerged from the truck briefly to dispose of their trash. It was the last time she would be captured on camera alive. The couple were finished eating and back on the road by roughly 9:10 a.m. Their destination was the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, the OAW building, where Matthew had an appointment for his foot injury. By 9:34, Matthew was in the clinic waiting room. He snapped a photo of his view and sent it to a friend. He was seen by a doctor 4 minutes later. Stephanie did not enter the building. She was not at the appointment with Matthew. Presumably, she was awaiting his return in the truck.
Coming up? Come on.
Cell phone data for both Matthew and Stephanie's devices placed them in the area of the OAW building beginning at 9:20 that morning.
Come on.
Connections to nearby cellular towers indicated that both phones remained in or around that area together. Matthew's
Hey, buddy.
appointment ended at 10:33. By 10:52, both phones traveled east towards the woodland. That left a roughly 20-minute period of time in which the couple was most likely together somewhere on the property before both phones were tracked on a return trip to the Willow Park Apartments. When detectives checked the cameras later that day, they found footage of Matthew returning, but not Stephanie. 17 days later, she was found dead in the woods east of the OAW. Matthew was brought in to speak with detectives on September 17th. While he answered questions, a team of investigators were searching his truck and apartment. 5 days had passed since Georgianne and Rich Pavlons had been notified of their daughter's death. No one else had been told of her passing. No press release had been made identifying Stephanie as the body in the woods. The Pavlons had not shared the news with Matthew. They had never been close. At no point in the interview did the Waukesha detectives inform Matthew that the mother of his only child was dead.
We have some real basic questions, and you can answer whatever questions you choose to. If you don't want to answer a question, don't answer it.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Do you have any? Are you curious at all about why we want to talk to you?
Well, of course I am.
Right?
Something that happened yesterday. I mean, I went right over it by the police. I mean, nobody.
We're not here about anything yesterday, okay? Let's talk about Stephanie. What is she to you?
Oh my God. Stephanie is the mother of my daughter. And you guys already know that.
Yeah. Did you guys have a current relationship?
We've always had some type of relationship with helping each other.
Okay.
When Matthew was prompted to speak about Stephanie, he explained that she had recently been helping him out since his foot and ankle injury had hindered his mobility. But he also said that he had been helping her out. She was always chasing the demons in her head, he said, adding that the side effects of some of her medications were a potentially toxic combination.
Do you know where she is? Do you know when's the last time you saw her?
No.
You don't know where she is? Do you remember the last time you saw her?
No, weeks ago.
Weeks ago?
And I'm sick to my stomach.
Why is that?
Because I have a bad feeling.
Walk me through the last. When you said you saw her a few weeks ago, where were you guys?
I can't recall the exact time that I saw her. She, do you want to go to that, or do you want to stick on the antidepressants?
You want to go to that? Or
The few times I had to go to the hospital with her because she was in such poor condition.
We'll come back to that.
According to Matthew, Stephanie had overdosed on her prescriptions in the past. She had also been depressed. Still unable to recall the last time he saw her, Matthew was able to tell detectives of instances when Stephanie would abruptly leave for extended periods of time without telling him. Detectives were eventually able to steer the conversation to the last time Stephanie was seen alive, the morning of August 23rd, when she traveled to the OAW building with Matthew.
You went with her to an appointment at orthopedic.
You guys know something you're not telling me.
No, we're trying to figure out where she is or who last saw her. So I guess you just told me you said you guys went to orthopedics to get there.
Yeah. I've been going to orthopedics since.
Right. This is the day after
May.
Right. This is the day after though. You guys went mattress shopping.
I can't recall the exact dates, but she went there with me a few times.
Okay. This would be the last time that you would have seen her though. In the last few weeks, you said. This one would be kind of. I would. You know, you're thinking back. You haven't seen her since this day, and you said you guys went out there.
I believe so.
You went into your appointment, so this is the last time you would have seen her. It sounds like. Okay. Did she come in the building with you? Do you remember?
No.
She stayed in the truck?
Yeah, she stayed in the truck.
You finished your appointment?
Yeah.
Come out to your truck? 10 and 1.
She's gone.
She's not in the truck anymore?
She's gone, yeah.
Did she have the keys or no? Do you remember?
Oh, no, I had the keys.
Matthew said that when he returned to the truck and Stephanie was missing, he drove around the area looking for her. He could not call her, he said, because he knew that she had left her cell phone at the apartment. As Matthew continued to speak with detectives, officers were busy searching his apartment. There were 2 items they found inside which raised red flags. The first was the large pink water bottle that Stephanie had carried with her on the morning of August 23rd, the last time she was seen exiting the building. It now sat on the floor of Matthew's apartment. The second was her black purse, carried by Stephanie coming and going in the days leading up to her disappearance, including the last day she was seen alive. The purse was tucked into the dresser in the bedroom. Matthew said he began to grow concerned about Stephanie when he found her purse in the back of his truck. He discovered it, he said, over a week after he had last seen her when he cleaned out his truck at the car wash.
When I really got worried and didn't understand what was going on is she put her purse in the back of my truck.
Okay.
in the back seat. I didn't notice that the purse was in the back seat until I went to the car wash about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I took out my car mats and I started cleaning everything, and lo and behold, I see her purse, and then that's when I was like thinking, well, this is strange.
Footage from inside that car wash on September 6th does show Matthew Paul cleaning out his truck. What it does not show is him pulling out a purse, cleaning car mats, or making any kind of unsettling or concerning discovery. Of course, Waukesha detectives already knew this, because they knew that Matthew did not find the purse a week later, but rather carried it into his apartment on the afternoon of August 23rd, only hours after leaving the OAW building. At roughly 10 minutes after 11, Matthew entered from the north door carrying the pink water bottle under one arm. Notably, for the first time in days, he did not pause to prop the door open for Stephanie. He simply walked in, letting the door close and lock behind him. It was as though he knew that this time she would not be returning. That same afternoon, about an hour later, he was back on camera walking out of the building. When he returned moments later, he carried a plastic bag. In it, detectives believed, was Stephanie's black purse.
Okay, this is where we need to figure out something because it doesn't make any sense. All right? That's you coming back the same day at 11:14. Okay? Hold on, listen, Matt. You're holding her water bottle, and Matt, this is the same day. And at 12:29, so less than an hour later, you walk in, and that's her purse in the bag. Okay? So this whole story, Matt.
That's her purse in the bag.
Yes, Matt. So the whole story about finding the purse in the truck later makes it wouldn't have happened.
Oh, no.
Matt, that's her purse in a plastic bag, okay, that you carried inside after you carried her water bottle in. That she walked, Matt, look. You see? That's her water bottle, and that's her purse. Okay?
This guy's sweating right
you
now.
walk in with her water bottle. You go
Well,
upstairs.
what time is this?
Oh, when you got home, Matt.
Yeah, that's when I came back from my appointment.
Right.
Matthew claimed that 2 of Stephanie's purses had been left in his truck, the black one with the chain strap, but also a gray one. He wasn't lying. He was simply telling them about another bag that he found while at the car wash. There was also a contradiction amongst the statements he made about Stephanie's phone. He said that she had left it at home that day. He also told them that he later found it at the apartment, and that had concerned him.
Right.
Long ago, I asked you what property she left in the truck, and you said nothing. She didn't leave anything. You said she left her phone at home. Okay. You said she left nothing.
Okay.
You went looking around, nothing.
Okay.
Okay. And then a week later, or 2 weeks later, you found her purse.
I honestly don't recall everything. I don't know. The phone might have been in the car.
You told her when you went to your appointment that I'll text you, and she said, no, I left my phone in the house. That's what you told us a little while ago.
If you're gonna charge me. I didn't do anything. I
You're
can't
the only one who can give us info about her.
I can't be
So we
honest.
can get answers to her
I
family.
can't be honest anymore.
What do you mean you can't be honest? You've been honest?
I can't be
You
honest
haven't been
anymore
honest
because
with us, Matt.
you keep everything that I
We're not
say.
twisting anything you say.
keep twisting
All
it
we're doing is pointing out the inconsistencies on what you're
because
saying.
I can't remember everything.
The purse, or multiple purses, and Stephanie's cell phone were not the only items that Matthew claimed to have later discovered in Stephanie's absence. During that same car cleaning, Matthew claimed to have found a note written by Stephanie on yellow paper. He said it was underneath a floor mat. That note may explain why Stephanie was no longer around, however that came about, because in it, she vents her anger. It read in part, "I hate you. I hate being blamed for shit I didn't do. I'm done being used, abused, and taken for granted. All you care about is yourself and what you can use people for. My parents are the same way. I'm not allowed to speak my mind around you, drive, spend money, or even feel good. The note may have supported Matthew's assertion that Stephanie was miserable in her life and perhaps chosen to leave on her own accord on the 23rd. It also offered a glimpse into the controlling and abusive nature of their relationship. At the Pavlons' home on Delafield, where Stephanie sometimes lived, officers discovered a collection of journals. There were entries beginning in the summer of 2020 and spanning through the spring of 2021 that investigators found to be of particular interest. Stephanie wrote of arguments with Matthew when he would lose his temper. She wrote of his control over her prescriptions, how he would take the medication for himself, and how he often grew angry if she took the medicine. She referred to his eyes as full of hate. Later that year, he was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There were days, even weeks at a time, when she appeared to be fine, happy even, though these periods never lasted, inevitably interrupted with another entry about Matthew's behavior. Much of her language during these low times was self-depreciating. Stephanie said that she felt that she had no one and that her partner treated her like a doormat. That Matthew Paul was a horrible boyfriend to Stephanie was never in doubt. This fact did not contradict Matthew's claims that he was innocent of her murder. Arguably, it supported them. He asserted that Stephanie could have chosen to leave him because she was unhappy, then later encountered foul play or experienced a health emergency in the woods. He also suggested that she was so miserable with him and her life that she could have chosen her own fate in the woods that day. Detectives soon discovered that Matthew was also carrying on relationships with 2 other women. There was evidence that Stephanie was aware of at least one of these connections. Both women were based in the Philippines. Matthew's correspondence with them took place mostly on Skype, but he was looking to take the next steps. Matthew had been planning a trip to be with one or both of these women before he injured his foot. Apparently, Stephanie was meant to join him. In the wake of her death, investigators believed that what Matthew really wanted was to have Stephanie nurse him back to health before he started his new life in the Philippines without her. Matthew Paul was arrested and charged with the murder of Stephanie Pavlons. He pleaded not guilty and stood trial in late October 2025. The state's case was largely circumstantial. The physical evidence was not only sparse, prosecutors could not even state with certainty how Stephanie died. Her manner of death remained unknown. And the theory of how Matthew committed the murder at the OAW building that day was murky. Was she killed in the truck and moved? Had the 2 walked out to the woods together? A cadaver dog, instructed to sniff a series of vehicles, had indicated at the trailer of Matthew's truck. In what scenario would Matthew have placed Stephanie in the back of his truck? Much of the state's case rested on how Matthew had behaved before and after Stephanie went missing. He was a controlling partner. His relationships with 2 women in the Philippines gave him motive. It was undeniable that the couple traveled together to the location where Stephanie would later be found dead. It was the same location where Matthew had last seen her alive, a fact he tried desperately to hide from detectives. Prosecuting attorney Sue Opper opened for the state.
During these 2 gaps, the 16-minute gap before the appointment and the 20-minute gap after the appointment, we have no idea where Mr. Paul is or what he's doing. There's no activity on his phone. He's not moving anywhere. There's nothing that we could find that tells us what he's up to during these gaps of time.
The defense raised doubts that the state's theory was plausible. How could Matthew have committed murder in broad daylight in a busy area in view of a large and well-populated medical building and a golf course without anyone seeing anything suspicious? How could he have transported Stephanie and concealed her in the woods, walking through the uneven and overgrown terrain with his injured foot?
Keep in mind, her body was found in a wooded area that is bound by a heavily traveled frontage road and interstate, a very busy health center, a golf course, and homes. ask if Matt carried Stephanie into that wooded area, when would he have done that? Keep in mind, the government has hundreds of hours of camera footage and cell phone mapping. Keep in mind, Matt was still dealing with a broken foot. Finally ask, what proof does the government have that Stephanie was even killed by another person? It could have been suicide, it could have been medical issues, it could have been anything.
Matthew Paul's cell phone data was incriminating. Beginning in late August through early September, he routinely searched Stephanie's name for any news results. He specifically queried her name for obituaries and alongside the names of funeral homes. All of these searches took place before she was found dead. He also began speaking with his father more regularly than he traditionally had. Search history on his father's devices returned similar searches, these likely made by Matthew while visiting his father's home. To one of his girlfriends in the Philippines, Matthew messaged, "I'm really worried about something, but I can't tell you through text. Can't tell about certain things. I did call my dad, and he is pretty worried too. Something happened, hun. I can't explain in text." After this last message, Matthew spoke with his girlfriend via Skype for 2 hours. Also found at his father's home was footage from the dash camera on Matthew's truck. Though additional recordings from the morning of August 23rd were never located, detectives did uncover a drive to the OAW building that Matthew made on the 9th, the day that Stephanie was found. On that day, Matthew drove to an appointment at the building, only to find the parking lot and surrounding area scattered with law enforcement vehicles and crime scene units. Curiously, instead of making the turn into the building to attend his scheduled appointment, Matthew drove straight past the parking lot. He took an extended drive to a subdivision further down Gulf Road before slowly pulling around, eventually making it back to the OAW. The most obvious explanation for his detour, the state argued, was that Matthew spotted law enforcement at the building and panicked. Because unlike every other person with an appointment that day, Matthew knew exactly why the police were there, and exactly who and what they had discovered next to the golf course.
That's crazy, bro. He went there the day they found the body?
Matthew declined to testify. He used his only opportunity to speak in court to take a dig at Prosecutor Opper.
Have you discussed your decision whether or not to testify with your attorneys?
Yes.
Have you made a decision?
Yes.
What is your decision, sir?
Well, I think Opper's too good at fabrication, so I don't think it would be a good idea for me to testify.
Okay.
The key witness for the defense was a toxicologist who reviewed the autopsy report prepared by the medical examiner. Dr. Stacy Hale outlined the use and potential side effects of each of Stephanie's prescriptions. She suggested that there were other factors that could have led to her death, causes that were accidental or natural, and everything in between.
In this case, a seizure possibility.
Yes.
There's a reports in her medical records about depression.
Yes.
In this case, was an overdose a possibility.
Yes.
Do you believe a natural cause of death is a possibility?
Yes.
In June of 2022, Stephanie wrote a desperate post on her Facebook page about feeling alone and unwanted. As a result of her message, she was able to reconnect with an old friend named Andy, who had also been going through a rough time in his life. Their correspondence in the following weeks was supportive, optimistic, and heartfelt. Contrary to the defense team's assertion that Stephanie was miserable, these messages showed a woman seeking happiness, friendship, and a fresh start. Prosecutors showed the jury one of her last messages to her friend on Facebook, a photo taken in her parents' garage. In it, Stephanie was smirking at her friend. They were discussing plans to meet and have dinner. This was the face of a woman who was ready to move on, to seek better things in her life. The state argued the yellow note left in the truck was Stephanie's way of telling Matthew that she was leaving him. She left the truck that day on her own accord to escape him, but he had followed her. They speculated that the cadaver dog later caught her scent in the trailer of the truck because that is where Matthew had subsequently tossed the murder weapon, Stephanie's black purse.
She says, I hate you. I hate being with you. All you care about is yourself. I'm not allowed to speak my mind around you, drive, spend money, or even feel good. Karma came back to you because your foot injury, not me. Go be with your virgin because I'm done, and keep the fucking money. She can't just sit there any longer. So she decides to walk towards that wooded area. She's probably thinking, hey, maybe I can go into the woods for some cover. Maybe I can walk over to a subdivision, call my mom. Maybe I can get to the golf course, call my mom. I just got to get out of sight. He can't see me leaving. And he goes after her. He gets out of the truck. He comes after her. He grabs her by the back of the shirt. That shirt's too big. He's pulling the shirt up at her neck. And there's a struggle just outside the area of the woods. Maybe Miss Pavlons is vaping. During that struggle, she drops her vape. Mr. Paul continues to grab at her shirt. He's not letting her go. And then what happens? Mr. Paul grabs her purse. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the murder weapon. He wraps this around her neck. He strangles her for just a minute or two. That's all it takes. She goes unconscious, and she's dead. He uses the strap of her own purse to kill her.
The jury reached a verdict on all counts in just over an hour.
The verdicts read as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Matthew E. Paul, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information. The second verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant, Matthew E. Paul, guilty of hiding a corpse as charged in count 2 of the information. And each is dated today's date, the 4th of...
On November 11th, 2025, Matthew Paul was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
Damn. Alright, gentlemen, I think that's enough stream for me today. I'm out of here. Peace.